Many of us come to this country in different ways. And I can speak of Jamaica. Um, some of us come by boat, some come by plane, some come legal, some come illegal, some come legal and then get illegal. I remember when I was about to come to this country, I had the thought, I was working at Life of Jamaica. And I'm starting this story because I wrote a book, it's in development right now. In another couple of months, probably, I'll probably release it and you'll get a chance to see much of my boyhood. But I felt it has a lot of my early development as a child. And but I enjoyed reading the book as it developed. I enjoyed writing it. It took a long time to write, but more so I enjoyed, as it's being developed into being released. I'm enjoying each chapter, and I really do hope that you will enjoy too. But it has a lot of my development, my early development as Leo, and I'm sure that you've seen some of my videos where I have expressed, little bits and pieces of my book. And this is what I'm about to do right now, because I'm going into the second book and I'm going to give you an insight into what it's going to be about. And the first part of it is about coming to America. Back in the days when, in the 80s, early 80s, late 70s, the embassy was on Oxford Road. And many of you remember that we had to go there pretty early. I don't know what it is nowadays, but we had to go there if we want a visa, right? Had to go there very early in the morning. I got there from 2 o'clock in the morning, right? And sit in line. When I got there, there were probably about 400 people there already. And it's 2 o'clock in the morning. And the place don't open until 9 o'clock. Okay? So go figure. And so you move along in the line, man, when 8:30 comes and you're still outside, the sun a beat down upon you. Trust me, it's hard. It was hard. But you walk from America and you sweat it out. And when I got in and I did my interview and was happy to come out with a visa. They say come back for it later on, And so I was an Life of Jamaica life insurance sales agent working in the Montego Bay office. And so it wasn't unusual for many of us to leave the country as insurance agents and go to different countries, different Caribbean islands. But this was going to New York. So it was kind of big for me. And my mom was there. I was looking forward to going to New York. And so I recalled when after I bought my ticket and everything, I went to the airport. Those days, we didn't have that gangway thing. What do they call that thing? That gangway thing that comes up to the airline, boom, and then you walk out onto that. I don't know any, whatever it's the Indians, right? But we never had that. We had to go out a door and walk on pavement and go up on step until you get inside the plane, right? I remember I had on a nice suit. Them the days that you dress up for go on plane. No, nice jeans pants and t-shirt and Long Beach State. You don't do that. Back in those days, you had to have on a jacket and a tie. So I wore my jacket and tie. And this wasn't 30 years ago. And not very too long, not too long. Until then, back in the days, airlines was probably one of the most prestigious things. Flying on an airline was the most prestigious thing that anybody could do. Going on an airline, I used to walk around and look. Before I ever took a flight, I could only see those planes flying 3 miles, 5 miles high, and them look like one little pin. Huh? But here I am. I was going on the prestigious flight to New York, and so I went on, and I recalled, there was nobody there, but I recalled getting up on those steps on the flight, on the before I get into the air, and you could look across now to the people who are waving goodbye. That's what it used to be. People used to. It was a big thing to leave your community, the whole family, bus load, come with you to go airport just to say, to wave goodbye to you. What they call that? Tell me what they call that again. I don't remember what they call that space up on top of the airport. You just go up there to wave, to say goodbye to the person. And so I remember looking back, and I said, "Mr. Who come?" Whomever it is, I was saying that to, because nobody knew that for me. But I look back and I remember that, in future, the next time I flew, there was a different experience, but I'll tell you about that later on. And so I got into the flight. It was January. Ladies and gentlemen, it was January. And the first time I got foreign, and I'm going to New York. Think about today what New York is, and the cowl where I lick on New York right now. And me, I leave Jamaica in a January to go to New York in a suit and tie and leather shoes. So the flight was quite an interesting one. Was different, and they treated you like kings and queens on the flight. You got hot meals. I think I had 2 meals by the time I got New York, I reached New York. I didn't have any money to buy drinks, but I wasn't a drinker. I never even cost bad. I mean, me not drink, me not smoke, me not at that age. That's how I not doing something. Anyway, all I had was what they gave us on the flight, and I'm sure there were 2 meals by the time we got to New York on Air Jamaica. And so I recalled that, we left Jamaica, we had to walk on the step to get onto the plane. But when the time waiting to meet me, I know gang wait me, because you gangway is when I come off of the ship. But the thing will come on the plane and make you walk off and whatever you call it, right? Well, those days, it wasn't grabbing the plane. There used to be a space between the plane where you step off and step into, right? And I remember on New York, me there. I remember exiting the plane. And I had taken off my jacket and I had it over here. Ladies and gentlemen, when I passed that hole between the gangway and the plane, it was about 1 foot, no, it wasn't 1 foot, about 6 inches. Okay, just step off. Sit and lick me in my face. Me say, what the hell lick me? Man, I feel like sitting lick me hard in my face. Right? I have to look back. Not at all lick me, man. A cool. Jesus Christ. I never felt so cool in my life. First time. I got New York. I mean, I was no cool, nothing. Right? I was not prepared like Oliver from Jamaica. And so, it was a very scary thing for me. After I got in, because you hear all these kinds of story about immigration and customs, and it make you sweat. I'm coming in as a visitor. What if them would chew me back out in my country? I mean, all of these things that go through my mind. And it was really, really scary. And so I went up, and it's like everything that everybody said to me that was negative about immigration, it just came, and me just start sweat right through. Man, I sweat. I never sweat like that before. Not even when I run. And so I went up to the man, and him asked me all kind of questions. I have no clue what my answer him say. But it must have been okay, because I found myself walking onto America. That was my first flight, my first time in America. And when I stepped out into the street, it was a brand new life. A life that was different. I saw soggy snow, wet snow. I saw people dressed like they're Eskimos. I saw people that they're Jamaicans, and they're unrecognizable. They don't look like Jamaicans anymore because it's snow. The people dress different. They dress big, and they have on these really thick stuff and thick hat or whatever they call it, coveralls, and it's a different kind of look from what I'm accustomed to being in Jamaica. It was different. And I remember my cousin, his name is Fred. Fred, how you do? Fred came to pick me up at the airport. And very, very smart man, he came with an extra jacket, an extra cool protective jacket that he wore. And he said, man, you have to wear this, And so I got it on, and but my feet were like, Jesus Christ. My feet, because I didn't have on the Eskimo boot type stuff, I was not prepared. By the time I got to the apartment where my mom was, ladies and gentlemen, I don't believe that I had feet. Even though the heat was in the car, I didn't feel like I had my feet. I was just dying to get in to something that felt normal. And, those days you could double park in New York. And Fred double parked, jumped out with me, and ran into the building. And for the first time in an hour, I felt like I was becoming, I actually felt myself thawing out. I felt like the things were just, things just moving out of my body. It's like you had a totally different body experience. I'd never felt like that before. And, it just kept going on because the whole building is heated. And so anywhere in the building you are, you start to get warm. And so I felt like it was just moving away, and you could feel your body thumping, like, oh my God, it was something else. I'm sure that's why I don't like cold. That was my first experience. And, it had been 6 years since I had not seen my mom. And probably that was a huge, a very big feeling of getting back together with my mom. I hadn't seen her in a long time. I used to talk to her. I used to call her, we call it again, collect on a Sunday night, call to Miss Pamela Gillen. And when she hears, she say yes, accept. You remember the collect calls, right? You have that Jamaica, you have got the phone box and a line of people that have the phone box and you wait your turn. And when you wait your turn and your turn come, you pick up the phone and dial 0 and the operator come on. I'd like to make a collect call to Miss Pamela Gilling. Miss Pam, they won't me go home. But the phone just ring. But Miss Pam, the home, and she hear it, yes, accept. And she will just say, accept. That's all you have to say. And the charges go right through the roof. So you spend 5 minutes on the phone with mama and you're gone. But it was good to see her. And wow, that was a great moment for me. She didn't look any different. I just enjoyed just sitting down and chatting with her that night. And the one beautiful thing that happened was I went to bed that night and then she woke me up at about 6 o'clock in the morning and she had to go to work, yes? But she woke me up and said, Leo, she touched me, it's snowing. Oh my God. And I looked through that window. I had never seen snow in my life, right? I only saw it on TV and it wasn't anything to me. You just know that snow exists, but I've never seen it. I've never experienced it. And it so happened that the morning that I got there, I got there the night, the morning it started snowing. You could see the flakes coming down and man, I was like a little kid with a toy. And so I jumped up, put on my clothes, and I said, I have to go out in the snow. And I went out cold. Now, this time, she had already bought a boot for me, so I was able to put on, and I went outside. And I played in the snow. That was something for me. That was a different experience because I'd never seen snow in my life. I didn't know what snow was. And so coming to America was a different kind of an experience. But I must tell you, it's the start of the rest of my life. That first trip, I went back home, but that first trip was the start of the rest of my life. Because as I stayed for the 2 weeks that I was there, she would go to supermarket and she would pick up something. I remember corned beef. Listen, corned beef in Jamaica was like $3. This is 1984, I talk about, you know. Corned beef was like $2 or $3 a pop. And when I came here, it was like 59 cents America. I'm gonna say, what the backside is it? 59 cents? Corned beef, 59 cents. and orange juice, I could drink all the orange juice that I want. I can't buy it at Jamaica. Drink orange drink, not orange juice. You know, you could drink, you could eat as much as you wanted. So what got me was the ease of accessing food. I mean, there was a Chinaman up the street in Brooklyn where you could buy half a chicken and fried rice for like $2. Oh my God, that was. I'm sure I'm listening. I'm sure you, Pat, and Barry and Basil all remember the Chinaman store up the street. $2, $2.50, the half a chicken and rice and fried rice. And so the ease of food caught my attention because in Jamaica, the only thing where we care about was getting our belly full the next time, right? When we grew up. And so that caught my attention. And so going back and forth to the supermarkets and stuff was an eye-opener for me. But then the dreaded thing was my experience going on the subway, because my mom took me on the subway one morning. And I've always heard it making a lot of noise, coming back and forth in Brooklyn. While you live in Brooklyn, you can't escape the noise of train, but I'd never been on it. And I remember she said, all right, come, I'm not working today, let's go. And we were going to Manhattan. And so we jumped on the number 4 or number 3 train, whatever it is from Brooklyn there. And she sat next to me, man, and we were riding, and I was looking at all of the buildings and everything so close to each other and everything favor one another. I remember one time I was in a car, Fred was dropping me home, and you know, we had gone somewhere, and when he stopped at the building that we were living in, I said, why are you stopping? Because everything looked like, he said, you reach home? I said, no, oh, what? But everything looked alike when I was in New York at the time. And so I got a chance to go on the subway, which was an experience by itself. You know, all of these people so packed and jam-packed like the bus them at Jamaica, you know, or worse. You know, in peak hours, you have to squeeze to get onto there, you know? And but I remember she was taking me down to see Manhattan. And the train was on top for a while, and then it went on and everything got dark. And after about 5 minutes, Mama said to me, oh, we're underwater, you know. So we mean underwater. So we're underwater. And that was so scary. Huh? And so I guess we were under the Ochum, whatever everybody did, the Hudson River or whatever is going across into Manhattan. And then, you know, the trains go under there. But my experience, especially with Mom, heading out to Manhattan was a good one. It was good because, you know, I was experiencing brand new opportunities with her. And when I got to Manhattan, and it was another mind blower, because, you know, she used to take me to Kingston, and there was a lot of people on the road. When I was a little boy, she used to buy clothes at Kingston and then head back home. We used to walk down. Listen, King Street was the capital of Kingston. Hands down, King Street. That King Street where nobody wants to drive on right now, it was the capital of Kingston. It was where all of the stores and everything take place down King Street. So she would get out at the top of King Street and we walk all the way down to go to a parade and buy things. And then we check the bus down the parade and head back to St. Mary. And there were a lot of people on the road. But Jesus, when I came out of that thing, that subway, and look on the amount of people that going to pass on this road, and me couldn't believe that so much people can be on one place, one time, all at the same time. It makes no sense. That's a lot of people. A whole lot of people walk on the street up there and then lick your them bunks. You couldn't stand up and look because somebody will lick you. You have to go back up on a wall or something like that and look up in the air. And when I look up, man, some building, I'd never seen buildings so tall in my life. That was a mind-blowing experience. New York was just a complete mind-blowing experience for me. But it was the start of my life. I mean, my life as an adult. It was the place that started to open my eyes and all of that. When I came back home, I spent 2 weeks in New York. And I came back home. I'm going to leave it right here. And I went to the supermarket. And I saw bully beef for like almost $3 or more than $3. I see orange juice on the shelf and I can't buy it. I said to myself, so what am I do at Jamaica? I call up Mama. I said, I want to come back. 1 month I spent at Jamaica. And I went home. I leave that for now, right? I went back to New York. I leave that for now, right now. And my next episode, I'll tell you when I was leaving what the difference of vacation plus going away. Thank you so much for listening.